Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and we have an FAQ. I can't remember what number this is, but it'll be in the title so you guys can see it there. But let's dive into our list here. Again, if you're newer to the channel, the FAQ series is one where I kind of answer some of the questions that you guys have about the game that necessarily don't deserve a full video, but still think they need to be answered and outside of a YouTube comment section. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, comment down below. We are trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. When we hit 5,000, Wampa hits Relegate, guys. And I will hold a special live stream where I not only Relegate Wampa, we'll do some other fun stuff on there. I will also make sure that that's at a time that you guys can join in, that hopefully, players can, I know one of the complaints I've gotten from my live streams is they're, again, 10 p.m. my time. That's just when I've had time to do them. But with this one, maybe I can try and get it, to be a little bit more friendly to the vast majority of my subscriber base. So stay tuned for that. If you're not in the Discord, the link is in the description down below. Go ahead, join the Discord to make sure you stay in tune with all the updates related to that stream. But remember, guys, Wampa may not always be in your team, but he's always in your heart because Wampa is king. All right, so let's dive into our FAQ. So I saw this question, I think it was from Mega Blob, I don't know. And he asked if I recommend building dark side teams earlier because you get a little bit more bang for your buck. And I 100% agree with this. You guys know that one of the first things I recommend you farm is your Executor, right? Everybody knows I'm a big fan of get the Executor. First, it helps you in fleets so much. I think it's the first big thing. You build up some decent characters for the Empire and Bounty Hunters that I just think it really sets you up nicely to leapfrog into other things. But even still after that, I think focusing Darkside is a really good idea. Like one of them being Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, where he's not only the cheapest galactic legend in terms of like relic materials or even like the characters needed for him, but once you have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, you have his A team. There's no better team to 90% of the time to run with Kylo than a full First Order team, and they're the characters you farm for him. So he really excels in that regard. And that's a huge contrast to someone like Jedi Master Kenobi, who you not only need to build Commander Tano, which is she's improving rounds, but Ahsoka Tano as well, and maybe like a Padme or Jedi Knight Anakin, General Skywalker, that you need another Galactic Republic Jedi to really make that squad what it is. And it's just brutal comparative to someone like Kylo, who as soon as you unlock him, boom, you've got his team. I then have Jabba and Jedi Master Luke kind of on equal ground in the sense of what they give you. I'd give the nod to Jabba because of the mod mission, the Krayt Dragon raid, and how useful he is in the new territory battle for Rise of the Empire, that Jabba is giving you a lot of return on investment, which also kind of translates down here as well to Darth Malak, General Skywalker, that General Skywalker takes more gear to unlock than Malak, and you need the 501st with General Skywalker to get the best use out of him, compared to Malak, where you're going to unlock him with Bastila Shan Fallen, Darth Revan, and HK-47, who all have the Sith Empire tag to tie in with him. So, I've been talking pretty quick there. But you kind of see that building Darkside early, you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. You're doing a lot less outside investing in them. And then what that also does now, I think, is a lot of guilds that I've seen, especially, and this is what I would recommend if you're an early guild, you do Darkside Geonosis territory battles, and then instead of doing Lightside GOTB, go ahead and do Rise of the Empire, because the rewards are better, and in terms of difficulty, they're going to be about the same. So that's, again, just my recommendation, where by doing, before you kind of had to split your roster between Light and Dark Side so you could participate in all the TBs, where with Rise of the Empire, that's not really an issue anymore. All right, so modding order. So this was a question I saw of like, what order do you slice mods? And I've done so many here, but I think this is a good example of, I have a tank, an attacker, and then old Daka who's support but like wants health. So for Ninth Sister, I have all protection mods on her. So the first priority for her was slicing the diamond because that's a defense stat, which helps tanks, right? I want her to be thick. I want people to have trouble beating her. And then these other two, the reason they have slices is because of their secondary stats that I'm trying to boost her overall survivability for my Lord Vader team. So she's definitely one where with a tank character that you're using protection, focus on that diamond first, get that defense going, and then worry about some of the other ones. For her, I'm not as concerned about offense. She doesn't really hit that hard, so it's inconsequential if she has a lot of offense or not. And then these 4 mods right here are all protection. Now, someone like Canderous, who's an attacker, right, he's dealing damage, I went for offensive ones. So you'll see here that his triangle and cross are both sliced, whereas I didn't do his square yet. I really should do this one. I just haven't got around to it yet. I have a lot of characters who need mods, so I kind of prioritized, 2 of his. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those areas where you've got to make do with what you have, but these were good examples. And then finally, Old Daka. Defense, I didn't do on her yet, but you can see the rest of these. I have her health mods sliced up. She really just needs a ton of max health. So prioritizing those mods that I can get that max health as a primary stat on, because you get a boost from 5.8 to 16%. So that's a really significant boost from mods. That's the modding order that I would kind of use. Like, for speed characters, it's a little bit harder because you're not so much focused on the primary stat as the secondaries, because you're only getting a +2 going from 5 dot to 6 dot on the on like a, what shape is this? Arrow. Here we go. I'm smart. So again, modding order, that's what I would recommend doing. Okay, so I've seen a lot of questions of people asking, is the early game harder? 100% it's not, but it did get harder to get raid characters. If you guys missed it in the most recent update, in the forums, that when they put out their announcement about the raid blackout period coming for the Crate Dragon raid, which we are now in April of 2023, they said that we're also changing the way you join raids, that you need to be in the guild for 48 hours before you're eligible to participate and claim rewards and raids. That is very different from the system right now, where as long as I'm in the guild before the raid starts, I'm eligible to participate. So they've effectively killed off merking. That is something they wanted to do for a long time. So while I think it's going to be harder for you to get characters like Traya, General Kenobi, and Han Solo, I think it's almost a little bit healthier for the game that players are going to kind of have to stand on their own, right? That they want you to have to build your own roster up to get these characters. But the reason I'm saying that it's still easier is because they've made so many good changes. Like, you look for the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren farm. I went over this the other day, right? You've got First Order Stormtrooper and Sith Trooper on the same 12 energy node. That is unbelievably good. That's so easy. Or you go to Zalbar, who's sharing a node with Mission Val, which is going to get you not only to Jedi Knight Revan, but Malak faster. They're sharing a node. So you're able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then finally, even Grief Karga and IG-11 are on the same 12 energy node, which is used for the Beskar Armor Mando journey guide. So the early game not only is easier because of things like that, but you're getting the 2x drops. You're getting additional gear drops that other players did not have access to. So I really think that this, I don't want people to freak out about, oh, it's not fair taking away merking. Like, they never liked merking. They just never knew how to fix it. And I think they finally got to it. They put that plug in it. And I think, as someone who has never really been able to merc, I don't have a problem with it. Like, I'm not getting hurt by this, but I know people whose gear intake will be severely hurt by the fact that they won't be able to merc anymore. So that's just something that, that'll change for some of those players who were able to do that. All right, and then the last topic I want to cover is Relic Order. And that the order you relic characters in 100% matters. And I want to show a few examples of popular Galactic Legend farms. So the first one is Jedi Master Kenobi. So when I say that Relic Order matters, what you need to think about is, if for some reason you have to stop that Galactic Legend farm in the middle of, in the middle of your farming, you need to stop that Galactic Legend farm because something else comes up that you're closer to, or you want to go do something else, or, whatever, right? That you want to be relicking the characters that you're going to get use out of, even outside of that Galactic Legend. Like, you notice for Kenobi, right? I said, okay, General Kenobi first, 100%. I want to get him, for the Negotiator. Shaak Ti is a great leader for clones. She's a great plug-and-play Jedi. General Grievous has his own capital ship. He's the leader of his droid team, and him with relic levels is a force to be reckoned with. And then I have Mace Windu and Qui-Gon Jinn as ones where, they have some, especially Qui-Gon has the GAC Omicron use, and then outside of that, not really much, but Mace definitely has a lot more uses. So in this case, what I'm kind of showing is that like the most important here would be like General Kenobi, and then you're kind of moving down the line to say, okay, these get, a little bit less important. Now, for the First Order here, right, for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, you guys will see that I have the pilots picked out. And not only the pilots, but the pilots of the starting ships that I recommend for that fleet, right? Kylo Ren Unmasked, you have his TIE Silencer. For OG Kylo, Captain Phasma, and First Order Stormtrooper, you have the Command Shuttle. And then First Order Officer for the Echelon. That my Relic Order here is, and Hux would kind of be here as well because he's the capital ship. But you want to focus on the ships that you're going to use the most first with the First Order. That, yes, Red Trooper is a great character. Sith Trooper is amazing, but he's not a pilot. And so when you're building this First Order team and you're trying to figure out who you should be relicking first, you want to focus on your fleet. You want to focus on those pilots because you're going to get more bang for your buck that way. And then finally, I have this Commander Luke Skywalker team down here. And this kind of represents Jedi Master Luke a little bit, Jedi Knight Luke, where if you're going, one of the recommendations I have when you're building something, right? Jedi, like for example, Jedi Master Luke or Jedi Knight Luke. You need Commander Luke. You don't need Han Solo. But the only reason you're going to build Jedi Knight Luke is to get Jabba or JML, who both require Han Solo. So you may as well relic Han Solo during this process. You got Chewbacca, who you need for Jedi Knight Luke and Jedi Master Luke. 3PO and Chewie you only need for JML. And then C-3PO you need for both JML, or for all three of those characters. So 3PO and Chewie, if you're going for Jabba, maybe you could argue that you skip that one and that you keep him at like Gear 12. But I highly recommend that relic. This is a fantastic team, and this is one that you could relic these 5 characters first. And then figure out, would you rather get Jabba or Jedi Master Luke? Like, it's not going to hurt you one way or the other. And the way I look at this when you're farming your characters is think about, if you want to like the overarching thing, who are the most useful characters? Which ones are you going to use all the time? I put heavy emphasis on pilots because I think pilots play that role that you want to invest there first. But also think about some of those other characters like these guys who this team is one of the best non-galactic legend teams in the game. So by getting these guys up and running, you're putting yourself that much farther ahead. So that's the video. I hope that this helps you guys. I hope these videos are helping you have a better understanding not only of the game, but of the thoughts that I'm putting into my farms. That, when I'm looking at a Galactic Legend, I'm thinking about that return on investment, right? What am I going to end up getting out of that character? Modding order is so important. I mean, it really can make the difference between a good and great account. Again, with this early game stuff, for me, where I'm looking at it is when I need to farm something, am I going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone? And then obviously this Relic Order is, this is probably the most important thing. Hopefully you've done this before, but I know a lot of people, the reason I made this is I see a lot of people, they'll do the Jedi Master Kenobi farm, and they'll have like the Relic 3s done, right? They'll have like Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, Ayla Sakura done, and I'm like, stop, like go for those Relic 8 General Kenobi, go for the Relic 7 Shaak Ti and General Grievous, because those are the better characters in that farm. Jango Fett, like build those guys, rather than those Relic 3s that really aren't of that much value to you. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it at here. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. As always, smash that subscribe button, leave likes, leave comments, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.